So we're with 16 Bars. I'm Steph, and I'm sitting here next to the legendary Taz Taylor. It's very nice to have you, Taz.
Thank you. Appreciate you for having me, of course, like always.
So I was privileged to get to listen to Before the Storm before everybody else got to listen to it. And I thought it was a really amazing project, and I was very surprised because it was still very cohesive, even though you had so many different artists on there. How did you guys get the idea for this project, and how did you get into it?
I think just out of nowhere, we were working on songs with artists and everything. Like we've been working with Tekka, we've been working with Juice WRLD, we worked with all these big artists. And I think just finally it became about time for us to just do a project, and instead of us giving them really big records or stuff like that, it's the other way around now.
So who made the choice for the people to get on the project? Was that you and Nick, or?
I don't know, it was just all me. I just decided who I wanted on the album, and then we went and did it. All that. I mean, everybody all my producers on this album pretty much is kept their head down this entire thing, and I just come in and yo, we're doing this today. This is what we're working on. They're all right, well, let's do it. And then it just turns out to be crazy at the end. And then they're oh, okay, I get it now.
Who was the last person to send the verse or their part?
Well, see, the album was done, and then something happened with some label clearances, so I had to switch it up and add 5 new songs within 20 hours. So
what?
I added, it wasn't the last person to send a verse. It was more so the last 5 songs I submitted, which was the Wiz Khalifa one, the Cochise and Ty record, the Kid Laroi record, just a bunch of them at 1 second left to go, shot clock type shit.
Oh, that's fucking crazy. Okay, but what happened? Why? Or was it?
No. It was just whenever you have a project with this many artists on there, you got to play the politic game. So it's certain artists won't want to be on songs with certain records, or even whenever you get past that point, you got to deal with label clearances and all of this, you know what I mean? And also you got to be mindful that they're working on their projects and they have their own rollouts and stuff coming out as well. So if your release dates don't really mesh up with theirs, it could be a big problem. So just had to take some records off, put some records on, and we did that within 20 hours to go. So.
But in which time frame did you make this project?
So we started working on a project a week before June, and I wanted to have it done before June. So on June 1st, I wanted to turn it in.
Yeah.
So we just really started working on a lot of the records we have with the artists that's on there, over time, because coronavirus happened, so people aren't just willing to get in a studio session like that.
Yeah.
So us deciding to do the album, we just started working on records and reaching out to the artists and be yo, you're not doing anything with this, let's do something with it. They said cool. And then, then a lot of times I wouldn't even get the artist permission. I would just start getting others, other artists on the song. And then, because I didn't have time to get it cleared and do all that. So then you got to deal with the artist yo, bro, I gave you the song. Why'd you put so-and-so on there? Why'd you do this? And it's just over time, I made a really good record out of it. But if the songs didn't turn out good, I would have got a lot of shit for it. So I'm just glad that we did it. And then we finished the album a week after June 1st. Mm-hmm. So the second week of June. And then we submitted it, did all that. We did cover art, got that done. Shot the video with Lemonade with Don Toliver, Nav, and Gunna. And then last second, some label clearances came back. And then I had to take 4 songs off the album that I'm gonna probably put on the next album. So I was man, what am I gonna do? And then at that point I was everybody on the team was freaking out, all my producers, everybody. And I was just bro, watch. And I was just give me 1 day. And I went and got 5 new records. And the Wiz Khalifa one was one of them that I put on there too. Just, asking around for records, people finding out about the Lemonade and all this other stuff that's going up. And then just be yo, anything you need, let's do it. And I just put them on there.
Yeah, I have to say Lemonade was pretty fucking amazing. I loved the video. Did you have the idea for the video?
Nah, that's all Cole. I can't take credit for that. Cole's he's a young visionary. He just has a really good idea of what he wants his music videos to look like. Whenever you meet people like a Cole Bennett, you know what I mean, who's just one of the main people in that, just pushing it forward. You know what I mean? He's really set an example for music video directors everywhere. You kind of can't tell him what to do or an idea. He's very accepting in whatever you have, but he's just he's just a creative, you know what I mean? You just got to let them do their thing. And once he came to me with the treatment, I was bro, you could have came to me with nothing and I would have said, let's do it. This is fire with me. So yeah, shout out to Cole though. Cole did this thing for real. The video's fire.
Actually, Cole Bennett is one of the few people that me and my homie Benny Norlano, the video dude, we stand out when we met him once. He was in Germany with Juice World. They were here together, and it was like, yo, holy shit! And he just had the Birkenstocks, and he had the it just like a really chill dude. I was so impressed.
Yeah, he's actually like a really like down to earth person. Like when people say that about certain people, like people get to think like, oh, it could be fake or whatever, but it's like 100% authentic. He's just like one of the nicest guys, one of the coolest people, and he don't care who you are or what you've done. Like he just treats everybody the same, and it's like a good thing to meet people in the industry still like that right now.
With who did you actually have like real live studio sessions though from the artists?
I mean, all of them at some point we were in the studio with them. You know what I mean? Like
right, okay.
during whenever we agreed to do the album, not a lot of people because of the Corona thing.
Yeah.
But these are like that we've had done. So we went and took like acapellas from old sessions and like made new beats. Like we did Lemonade in 2017. Most people don't even know that.
What?
And then yeah, we did it in 2017.
It does
October
not sound
7th.
like that at all. It sounds.
No, it's a completely different song now. You know what I mean? So it's like we went in, we upped the BPM, we changed the key, we changed the beat, we changed everything. And then it's like, we really made it a hit record, just out of nothing. Like no one giving us a help, a hand or nothing. And then I went and got, Nav and Gun on it, and it just became a classic. I
do think it's so impressive the way you can just say, I was just like, come on, Gunna, come on, Nav, just hop on this thing. This is like actually fucking crazy. Like you have all these people and all these connections that you've worked on for so long. Do you think that's a big part of your success?
I think it's just honestly, for the longest time, whenever I got in the industry, I didn't expect anybody to give me any favors or any handouts or anything. And I was just like, mad cool and really like receptive to doing whatever anybody needed from me. You know what I mean? Like if they need beats or they need me to produce their projects or come in and give my opinion on their songs or whatever they want, like I've done it. And now for once it's finally like me cashing in on those favors and being like, hey bro, like, we have a good relationship, let's do this. And them just being so understanding of like the type of creative people we are and just being them throwing their hands up and letting us like do our thing on it. You know what I mean? I think it just shows a lot about the relationships we have with the artists. And the type of like respect that we carry, you know what I mean? I remember whenever we got in with like Sway Lee to do Thrusting, he's like one of the artists that we actually like got in with to like do one of the songs during the Corona thing. I remember just Sway just telling like, man, you're on your CEO shit. Like it's just inspiring because I didn't even know Sway followed me on Twitter. Like he follows me on Twitter and he watches all my tweets and everything. He's like, bro, like you're on your young CEO shit. Like I just respect it. Just want to let you know, like I see it. And just from that moment, I was like, damn, like this shit's crazy. You know what I mean?
I did see him pressing you to drop their song, like before it drops. I did see him pressing you on Twitter. He's like, come on, man, let's go.
Nah, Sway's my boy. Like he's actually one of the best people, just like Cole, like one of the most like down to earth people. He don't really care who you are. He just, and then on top of that, he's one of the most talented artists. Like I remember being in the studio doing Thrusting. It's just like, how does this happen? How does this come out of this kid's like body? Like you just don't understand it. Yeah. Good dude though, for sure. Love him and his whole team.
I think it's really interesting for me to look at you as a person because on the one side, there's the creative, artistic side of you. On the other side, there's the business side of you. And I wanted to ask, where did the business mindset come from? Because usually that's something that's instilled when you're younger or something you learn over time. Where did that come from for you?
I think it's just for me, like, I dropped out of school in the 7th grade, you know what I mean? So like whenever you're that age, you grow up, people like brainwash you, so to speak, with like what they want you to learn or like stuff that you're really not going to use in your actual adult life. So whenever I dropped out of school, I think it's just me learning and applying and learning what I wanted to learn. You know what I mean? I also read like a lot of books that just taught me how I need to like kind of like live my life by like the 48 Laws of Power, Contagious, like those type of books, stuff like that. Just like self-empowering, teach you how to be a boss type CEO mindset type books, like just learn from there. And then a lot of it's just like watching, you know what I mean? Like if people would just be quiet a lot of times and just let their eyes do the work, you'd be amazed at what you can actually learn. Because all the game and all everybody's little secrets that they know, they all show everybody. The problem is people think it's something like much more difficult than that. You know what I mean? In reality, it's like there's no deep secrets. Everybody's just doing simple things. People just overcomplicate and overthink it. So if you could just turn your brain off and work, good to go.
Where do you think your work ethic comes from? Because I already saw now, even though you're dropping on the 28th, I see you posting pictures with Mosey in the studio. And I was like, Mosey is also making beats now, isn't he? Or he's trying to at least. I feel like he's dabbling in that. So what were you guys working on?
I was in with Mosey 2 nights ago. We're working on well, he's working on like his project, of course, but also I'm taking records for my second album. Like I'm trying to put out another album this year. So I don't really look at, like, if I was a normal artist, I'd look at it like, oh, you gotta wait and you gotta give it time. But it's not like that. Like I look at our albums kind of like playlists, you know what I mean? Like if Rap Caviar and Most Necessary and, you know, Rap Life on Apple and all these things can get updated every week with new songs, how come I can't put out a new playlist every couple months with your favorite artists, all produced by Internet Money? That's why I look at it. Like that's what this album is pretty much.
Would you ever hop on a Mosey produced beat? Or do a collab? Not hop on. Do a collab?
Yeah, I mean, that's my boy. And like, he's fire. And he's like one of the like young creative people with it. He does a lot of things. He's just even outside of music. Like, I respect his mindset. Like, it's really refreshing to see like a kid like Mosey to be out here like, oh, I want to get into businesses and I want to start signing producers and I want to start signing artists. Like Mosey just signed a young artist. Like he's just doing his thing too. So he's making beats, signing artists. He's doing everything. It's like me kind of being in my position is like where I sign artists, sign producers, have a whole brand, do everything with Internet Money. Like to see other artists kind of like grow up and be like that, like boss mentality type thing, like is really inspiring to me. So anything Mosey needs from me, whether it's beats or, you know, if Mosey wants a Taz Taylor verse, I'm gonna hop on the song.
Oh my God. Well,
that's my boy.
Can we look at your beginnings now? What was your first, well, I guess it must have been like a home studio setup, little something. What were the first things that you bought to start making beats?
Oh, so my family didn't like have money like that. So whenever I wanted to like start making beats, I just had to make do and start like Craigslisting. I don't know if y'all know what Craigslist is. They're like pawning, selling stuff, you know what I mean, that I already own. So like I had like a bunch of guitars I collected over like my whole life. Like I got on birthdays or Christmas or whatever. And I just pawned all of them and got I bought like a cheap Dell Inspiron laptop and some like KRK5s. If you're a producer, you know about like the speakers. And it's like the pretty basic starter producer setup. And that's how everything kind of started from there. It wasn't no studio. I was in my bedroom. It got to a point where I had to like prioritize things. I was like, what do I want? I want a bed or do I want a desk? And I just got rid of my bed. I slept on the ground in my bedroom. You know what I mean? So it's just like, that's the risk you take. That's the sacrifices you start making to like this music shit.
That is unbelievable. You sold your bed for equipment?
No, I mean, my bed wasn't worth nothing. I just got rid of it. I just put it out by the road.
Okay.
But I mean, like my work ethic and all that, you know, it comes from like my mom. Like my mom was like a barista and everything for like 30 years. And no matter how much like she got paid from her job or anything, she'd wake up every day at 4 a.m. to go open up a Starbucks. You know what I mean? So it's like just seeing her consistently like every day live her life around like her work and stuff like that. I just developed that same work ethic. And like now, like I'd rather be working. I don't want to be doing anything else. I don't want to be out here partying or going to do nothing like that. Like I can have so much fun working as opposed to like just doing stuff that I'm not really going to care about in a year. You know what I mean? I can build my legacy.
I can see that, but I also think your work environment is also like critical for, you know, to enjoy your job or like what you do. I don't know if you see it as a job yourself, but it's like, it's your passion, right? So it's like you're in a house, you have people that you've signed, you have people you work with that you like, care about, and you get to work with them every day. I mean, that makes such a big difference for a lot of people.
Yeah, like I don't have to like go to studios or like go to an office. Like as soon as I wake up and walk out my room, like there's already people working on beats. There's already people sending me songs. Like, and then I'm just planning the schedule for the day. Like, yo, who am I in the studio with tonight? Or who can we get to pull up and work? Or just taking meetings on other stuff that involves Internet Money outside of music. You know what I mean? Like the fact that I'm in a house surrounded by all these different creative people, just like kind of lights a fire to me. Like they're dedicating their life and sacrificing their personal lives and stuff to be here. So I got to go even harder for them. You know what I mean?
Do you think that is one of the critical points that makes Internet Money so successful? The fact that you guys are so close, all of you in the house?
I think like the reason why we're so successful is like there's just no problems. I think we all just take this very seriously, and like once you live with somebody and you spend your days with them, like we kind of become their family at some point. You know what I mean? Like their real family kind of becomes like a distant or second family. So everything they go through, like personal problems or day-to-day, you know, stress or whatever like that, we're the ones they talk to about it. You know what I mean? So it's just like a different type of like family and respect. And whenever you get to music, because y'all have that relationship already, you already know what they're trying to do and they already know what you're trying to do in a song. Once y'all get in, you don't even need to like talk. It's just like, you already know, like, all right, cool, they're going to go for this or we're going to go do this. It's just like I don't know. I think we all just move with the same mindset. We all like, we want to be more than producers, and we take it seriously that like, this isn't some hobby, or it's not we don't even look at it like a job. It's just like, this is our life. We just dedicate it. You know what I mean? That respect. And whenever you put it on a pedestal or a shelf like that, everybody only has to take it serious. The people who don't take it serious don't last very long, and they see people come and go all the time, you know?
How do you deal with the pressure of that? Because you are 27, right? And I mean, so you're a young man, obviously. You have a lot of like responsibilities. And you have a whole house full of young creative kids that look up to you and look to you. And in a weird way, I feel like you speak about them as if they're your kids. But do they look at you the same way, like as a father figure or like a mentor? Or
I think to deal with the pressure of internet money and all this type of thing, like I've been dealing with it like my whole life. Like if you just know my situation and where I come from and what I was raised from, and like, you know, selling beats and helping my mom pay with like cancer bills and doing all this stuff. Like I've been dealing with responsibility my whole life. You know what I mean? And I think like I've seen a lot at a young age really quick. So like I had to grow up quicker than most. I have a 5-year-old son, for instance, you know what I mean? So, I just feel like a lot of them, they're young, and like, it's not like they're all like 16 years old living in this house. Like internet money is an age range of like, I have a 15-year-old producer and I have a 30-year-old producer who's older than me. Yeah. And I have people that's like even 35 who are in internet money, who have like their own families and kids and all that. I think it goes down to like, I don't like to son them like they're my children. I just like, I care about them like they're my children. You know what I mean? Like, I care about their personal life. I'm not out here wanting them to like fuck their lives up or go do some like blow all their money or go do stupid ass drugs, or you know what I mean? Like I just really care about their well-being and being able to establish like a lifelong W of making music for them. And I'm just kind of like the incubator. I kind of help people adapt to like the mindset to the industry and understand like they hit the ground running once you're in internet money. There's no time for learning curves.
How do you pick these artists and these producers? What is it that you just makes you say, okay, this is it? Or where do you even look for them, if you even look?
I say it all the time, like, and I'm not trying to sound like cocky or arrogant or nothing like that, like, because people ask me this question, like, how do you know who to pick or how do you know who to sign? And it's all based off of just like feeling. Like whenever I meet people or their energy or their personality or listen to their music, and you hear like something in their voice or their beat select. If it freezes, I'm still here. I'm not going nowhere. But just pretty much like I could just like I could predict the future with them. You know what I mean? Like I see something inside them that they don't really see in themselves yet, and then like I got to start doing work. So I got breaking down like their insecurities and stuff that is really like preventing them from being like the producers or artists or songwriters that they're capable of being. Because this thing isn't like, I think it's just all a mindset thing at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like artists that like, oh, I can't write songs as good as these people, or producers like, I can't make beats as good as these people. And it's just like me coming in and telling like, you can do this. Like they're just humans. They're not better than you or I. Like it's not like they have some like special gift. They just worked at this. You know what I mean? And I'm a firm believer of like hardworking people always get further than like talented people, because talented people take days off. You know what I mean? So people come in the door and I just teach them how the ropes go. And a lot of it's just them being like, man, I didn't know it was that easy, or I should have looked at it like that from the get-go. It's just all mentality and mindset stuff, really. But once I bring people in, it's just about empowering them and making sure that they're like the top. They could be the best producer, they could be the best artist and whatever. I feel like any producer, any artist, or any songwriter in like our system of the internet money, you know, thing is like, you put them in the factory, they're gonna shine, they're gonna get there. They're going to make the best music they're going to make, and they're just going to be the best artists that they can be, because we prioritize the artist development here. A lot of labels and a lot of people don't care about like who the artists are working with, who their producers are, what studios they're getting into, the songs they're making. They just throw a check at them and let them like sit and rot. it's a little different over here.
What are things that you would say for somebody starting new in this industry that you wish somebody would have told you?
I think just understanding how businesses ran, most importantly, and like how the rules go of the industry. Like a lot of people just don't listen to people, and they just kind of, okay, well, I'm just gonna run with this blindly. You know what I mean? In reality, it's like I wouldn't be the person I am if I didn't for the longest time just sit back and listen. Like my manager Bird just taught me the whole game, and like not even, it's like whenever I got into the industry, I was very childish. I was very like young. I didn't understand. If someone disrespecting me, then it's like, fuck you. I'm on Periscope with an AR-15. Like, what's up? You know what I mean? But now it's like people could just say whatever. It just goes right over my head. I think it's just like it has to do with when you get in here, this is the big boys league, and you can't like act like a little bitch. You got to grow up. So it's like crying over spilled milk, or you can't. Nothing's ever gonna go how you expect it to go. Like, you know, like whenever you play the lottery or whatever it is, like you talk to your family or your friends who also go, what are you gonna do with your money? I don't know. I'm gonna go get a yacht. No, you're not, because you're not gonna win. Like that's how it is in the industry. Like anything you try to plan and set up, like, man, this is gonna be my biggest record. Well, it's not gonna be your biggest record. Like, oh, well, I can't wait for this to happen. Well, it's not going to happen like you thought it was. So just maybe limiting your expectations and just realizing like, hey, like if it goes up, it goes up. Like once you get something good that happens, celebrate it for 30 minutes, an hour, let it sink in that it happened, and then just forget about it. And then whatever comes of it, cool, great. If it grows up to be the biggest song of your career, that's a blessing. If it doesn't, then that's a lesson. You know what I mean? It's just either one or the other.
But I mean, this is something which is probably easier for you to say because you've been doing this for so long. I feel like, you know, for you have a different look at things. I think when people are new in the industry, they're like still pretty fucked up if the song doesn't blow up.
I mean, realistically, I've only been in the industry. I haven't even been in the music industry for 3 years. I got in the music industry August 31st, 2017. So for me and Internet Money to kind of get in and do what we've done in this time and work with, you know, the talented and legendary artists that we work with, like Juice WRLD and Lil Tecca and all these artists that you know us of, like no one else is doing that. And I think like this album is just like kind of reminding people who we are. Like we dropped Lemonade and people's like, what the fuck is Internet Money? And we're like, well, they're like, I don't hear Internet Money's verse on here. You're not supposed to. Like, we're just curating the song. We're curating the vibes. We're setting everything together. We're making sure that we got Don Toliver, Nav, and Gunna on the song. That probably wouldn't have happened without us. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like you get the respect you deserve for what you've done at this young age?
Nah, never. But that's just like I said, we haven't been doing it that long. Like once we're in the industry for like 10 years and we have all these records, even then at that point, like I feel like we're worth more notoriety than what we even get. But people will start respecting us at some point. Like I just want people to start holding us in the same regard of like the Metro Boomins of the world. You know what I mean? Like the Lex Lugers, the 808 Mafias. Like obviously we look up to all them guys. Michael made it. Like I wouldn't be here without the eardrummers. You know what I mean? Like Internet Money is based off of like Mike Will and the eardrummers' whole like structure. So just people like I want us to kind of just, I'm not saying we're better than them. I don't think we're better producers than them. I feel like we're all in our own different lanes. I just feel like I want people to start mentioning Internet Money and Nick Mira and Taz Taylor and all of our names right next to all of them guys. That's all I really want at the end of the day. So I feel like this is just more steps in that direction, and we're becoming the artists now.
I will say it took me a long time to understand, really, to understand type beats. Which I sound like an old head saying this, but it took me a hot minute to really get it. And I really got into it when I was just looking for fire music to listen to where there wasn't anybody else rapping on yet. Can you explain that to me, how that works? Is it like an algorithm thing where you like put the right words and you put the right cover and it just might work? Or is it YouTube's ghost just that just, you know, make something blow up or not? Like how do people like build this? This is so crazy to me.
Internet Money helped like start the type beat game, right? So like we were some of the first producers like really doing type beats and all that. So YouTube, I don't know, like producers to this day still don't understand the YouTube algorithm, you know what I mean? That goes into like who they pick or why they pick people to go. I just know the competition in that, and it's so oversaturated, you know what I mean? Like everybody on there, like they'll find one producer selling a beat for $30. Guess what? Now someone sells it for 10. You know what I mean? Like the real damage in there is other producers cutting other producers down because they'll buy dislikes on their YouTube videos and channels. Yeah. Like producers do this type of stuff because it's a dog eat dog world. And if they can kill one producer's like whole momentum, then that just is one less producer they got to worry about and another way for them to make more income. So like there's a lot of stuff like that going on. It's just a whole different world. I'm kind of glad I don't have to do it anymore because like I feel like I kind of fucked the game up because I told people how much money we were really making selling type beats, which inspired more people to go make type beats. So it's like, I don't know if people are really running it up like we was back in the day, but I don't know. It's just a good part of our story that like people who have no idea who we are, they're like, oh, damn, they did that. Oh, damn. Okay, I get it now. Like we really came from the internet and we was really running it up on the internet. We were doing $500,000 a year selling type beats. You know what I mean? We own the biggest drum kit website made by producers with Wave Supply. We just do all this different stuff. And like, once again, just putting the power back into the hands of the producer and teaching them that you can do more than just make beats. You can go be an entrepreneur. You can go do whatever. That's what people know, internet money. There's a lot of producers out there who kind of do what we do. Like I said, like we were inspired by Mike Will. DJ Khaled's another producer that like on the artist side and doing all this, like he kind of helped pave the way for people to go do producer curated albums and stuff like that. Like Metro Boomin did an artist album, and it just goes all the way back. You know, like Dr. Dre did it, other Kanye's did it, but he turned into an artist. You know what I mean? So just realizing and showing kids like in the next generation, like, look, you can go do albums as a producer. I think that's like one of the most important things.
Is there anything, you know, or have you ever worked with like German producers? Because I feel like Germany has quite a few people that are really putting in work and making differences out here.
Yeah, the thing with like Germany producers and even like a lot of like international producers in general is like I'm actually amazed at like the sample makers and stuff like that come from just like all these different countries. Like it's kind of crazy. I haven't worked with any Germany producers, but I know like my manager Bird manages a couple of them, like A2R and all that. Like he does all that with them. But you know, I gotta tap in with the Germany producers out there. I gotta tap in with them.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, he's Swiss, but we have OZ, I guess.
OZ, yeah, OZ.
Swiss. Palace is.
Oh yeah, Palace is my boy. Yeah, that's my boy Palace. I'm like, if you've showed me like a globe that's unmarked, I'm being real with you. People just tell me they're like a foreign producer. I'm like, hey man, let's get it. Then they're like, oh, I'm from Germany, and like, oh, I'm from Frankfurt. They don't say that. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, bro, let's do it. So now, like, I didn't know OZ was from there. I knew Palace was from over there.
Switzerland, though, yeah, but it's the same shit, basically. Well, it's not the same shit, but it's like they speak German as well. So it's like, is there any, when Corona's over, have you ever considered coming here overseas?
Yeah, I've never left the country. I've never left the U.S., like, never been anywhere out of the country. And I just found out I'm, like, European. So.
What? What do you mean you just found out you're European?
My family lied to me my whole life, and this is a real thing. Like I battled with this for months. Like this is a real situation. My family lied to me my whole life and told me I was Native American, and then I took a 23andMe and it came back 99.2% European. And I was like, what the fuck is this? So now I guess I gotta go visit my homeland, but I wanna go to Greece, I wanna go to Australia. Of course I gotta go to Germany, you know what I mean? Like I gotta go crazy, but I wanna go to all these different places. I just never left the country, and now that like I feel like I've racked up enough like accomplishments and everything under my belt, I could kind of just like relax a little bit and take a couple vacations and see the world, you know?